All right, so picture this. California sun, open road, and you're wondering, is Bodie Ghost Town really worth the detour?
You know what always gets me about Body is its authenticity. It's not some like fabricated tourist trap. It's a genuine bona fide gold rush town, frozen in time.
Okay, so we're talking the real deal here, but what exactly makes it so special?
Well, imagine this.
Yeah.
It's the late 1870s, gold fever's everywhere, and Body is the epicenter. We're talking about a population explosion from like just a handful of people to almost 10,000 in the span of just a few years.
Wow.
Over $38 million in gold and silver extracted, which you can imagine fueled a pretty, let's just say, wild atmosphere, tons of saloons, casinos, you name it.
Yeah, that's a far cry from the quiet ghost town it is today. What happened? What caused such a dramatic shift?
Well, the boom went bust, as these things often do. Easy gold veins dried up, and by 1950, Bodie was officially a ghost town. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Instead of just being abandoned to the elements, someone decided to preserve Bodie in a state of, get this, arrested decay.
Arrested decay. So they're like actively trying to keep it in its current state.
Exactly. It's this delicate balance, right? Enough preservation to give visitors an authentic glimpse into the past, but also allowing that natural weathering to continue. Kind of like a snapshot of a bygone era.
Oh, that's cool. That definitely adds another layer of intrigue to it. But I gotta ask, 60 saloons, were there even enough people to, like, run them, let alone drink in them all?
Well, I think that speaks to the whole gold rush mentality,
Yeah.
right? Like opportunity breeds ambition.
Yeah.
And things like logistics or, supply chains, those were secondary concerns. Just imagine the sheer volume of goods, not even just alcohol, flowing into this remote town
Yeah.
and the challenge that come with that.
Wow, that's wild. I bet there are some stories buried in those supply lines, huh? But okay, let's talk about the people. The article kind of hints that life in Body wasn't all saloon singers and lucky strikes. What was the reality of living in a place like that?
Yeah, the reality was harsh. It's a boom town, right? Limited resources, brutal weather conditions at over 8,000 feet elevation. And of course, mining is dangerous. So disease was rampant, accidents, violence, all commonplace. The article makes it clear that life in Body, it was a gamble. And the odds, well, they weren't always in your favor.
It's crazy how the thought of striking it rich kind of overshadowed everything else, huh? So knowing all that, do you think Bodie's a worthwhile stop for someone, like, craving that Wild West experience?
Well, that's where the article's great. It gives a really balanced perspective for potential visitors.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, surviving harsh conditions and, like, rogue prospectors, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, for sure. So what does the article say about the pros and cons for, someone going there today?
Well, they're big on the authenticity and preservation, especially compared to other ghost towns that have gone, full-on touristy, like Calico.
Ah, Calico, right. It's like the ultimate ghost town showdown. How do they actually compare?
I'd say they're pretty different beasts. Calico's all about the entertainment. You got shops, reenactments, that whole manufactured Wild West vibe. But Body's about immersion. You're stepping back in time. You could almost feel the weight of history in the air.
Man, you're giving me chills. Okay, so say you're short on time. What would be the deciding factor between the two?
Honestly, it boils down to personality. You want staged gunfights and souvenirs. Or more like, genuine experience that makes you think.
Oh, I'm all about that genuine experience. But practically speaking, what should someone consider before heading out to this ghost town in the middle of nowhere?
Well, the article's got you covered on the practical stuff. First things first, location. We're talking about 75 miles southeast of Lake Tahoe, 12 miles from Bridgeport, and even further from Yosemite.
All right, so got your route planned. What about the best time to go?
That's where that 8,000-foot elevation's a factor. They recommend late spring to fall for the best weather, but even in summer, you'll want layers, Mountain weather is unpredictable.
Layers, check. What else should people pack for a Body trip?
Patience, for one. That last 3-mile stretch of road is unpaved. It can be rough. Article recommends a car with some decent clearance.
Oh, good call. I was picturing myself in my little sedan struggling to get up there. Anything else before I'd, wander off into the ghost town wilderness?
Yeah, and this is important. Absolutely zero services in Body. No gas, no restaurants, no cell service.
Oh.
Make sure you fill up your tank, pack food, water, maybe even download an offline map just in case.
Okay, noted. Body's all about self-sufficiency. So once you've braved the wilderness, made it to this well-preserved ghost town, What's there to actually do? I know the article mentioned some pretty cool stuff.
Oh, yeah. The Bodie Foundation, they're the ones taking care of the town. They offer some great experiences for all you photographers out there. They've got workshops on capturing bodies, like haunting beauty.
Oh, I'm signing up for that. The whole vibe just screams, photograph me. What about if you're more into the history side of things?
They've got you covered. They do guided tours, both public and private. You can check out the stamp mill, which was like the heart of their gold processing operation back in the day.
Oh, I'd love to see that. It's amazing how they kept all that stuff intact. Speaking of which, can you stay overnight in Bodie? You know, really soak in those ghost town vibes.
Well, you can't actually sleep in the town. The article mentions a couple of options if you want to extend your trip. You got camping on nearby BLM land.
Now, for those of us who don't speak acronym, what does BLM stand for?
Right, of course. BLM's the Bureau of Land Management. They manage millions of acres of public land all over the U.S., and those lands are usually open for things like camping, hiking, all that good stuff.
So you could be out there under the stars, surrounded by, like, gold rush history. That's pretty neat, but okay. Maybe roughing it isn't for everyone. Any other options if you want a real bed and, like, a shower?
They suggest checking out hotels in Bridgeport. It's an easy drive from Bodie, and they've got, those modern conveniences we all love.
Oh, yeah. Gotta love running water and Wi-Fi. As you were talking about all the stuff to see, one detail from the article really stuck with me. They mentioned the Caine Residence and a woman in the window.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Caine Residence has this beautiful glass porch. And the story goes that it's haunted by this mysterious woman. People have reported seeing her like a translucent figure peering out from the second floor.
Ooh, spooky. It really makes you wonder, are these stories just like local legends? Or is there something more to them?
That's the beauty of a place like Bodie, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a link to the past, and with that comes all the mystery and unanswered questions.
It's like Bodie's hiding a whole bunch of stories just waiting for us to find them.
That's what's so cool about places like this, It reminds you that history is not just like stuff you read in a textbook. It's real people, real lives, good and bad. And sometimes those stories stick around, even after, well, everyone's gone.
So for those listening, planning their big California adventure, what's the verdict? Bodie ghost town. Worth a detour.
I'd say it really depends on what you're looking for, right? Do you want a place where you can practically feel history around you? Something that'll spark your curiosity and maybe leave you with some unanswered questions.
A place that might give you a little scare.
Exactly. If that sounds like your kind of thing, then Bodie might just be the perfect stop for you.
It's definitely going on my list. This has been an awesome depth dive.
Safe travels, everyone, and enjoy those California adventures. Who knows what you might find out there.
That's all for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.